Close your eyes for a split second and try to feel the passage of a single moment. You likely perceive time as a river, a relentless flow from a fixed past toward an uncertain future, governed by the ticking of a clock on your wall or the digital pulse of your smartphone. But what if I told you that this flow is a sophisticated biological illusion, a grand construction of the mammalian brain, designed not to reflect reality, but to ensure your survival? Welcome to MindSpark Science, where today we are deconstructing the very fabric of your existence. Because this changes everything we know about time. For decades, we have treated time as an external constant, an objective backdrop against which the drama of the universe unfolds. Yet modern neuroscience and quantum biology are beginning to whisper a different story. Your brain does not perceive time. It creates it. We are not passengers on a chronological train. We are the engineers of the tracks themselves. To truly grasp the magnitude of this, we must look at the architecture of the human mind. The brain is not a passive recording device. It is a predictive engine. It doesn't just see what is there. It calculates what should be there, and presents you with a filtered, edited version of reality. This is why when you look at a clock, you see seconds passing with mathematical precision. But your internal experience tells a different story. Think about a moment of extreme fear or a sudden car accident. Why does time seem to stretch, turning seconds into what feel like minutes? This is not just a trick of memory. It is a fundamental recalibration of your neural processing. In high-stakes environments, the amygdala, your brain's emotional radar, kicks into overdrive, diverting all available resources to the sensory cortex. Your brain begins to sample reality at a much higher frequency, capturing more data points per millisecond than it does during a boring afternoon at the office. This is the biological equivalent of a high-speed camera. When the brain later recalls these information-dense moments, the sheer volume of data makes it feel as though the event lasted longer. In essence, your perception of time is directly proportional to the amount of new information your brain processes. This is why childhood feels like an eternity while your adult years seem to vanish in a blur. As a child, every experience is a novel data point, a flicker of neuroplasticity building the world from scratch. As an adult, you operate on predictive coding, a mental shortcut where the brain ignores the familiar to save energy. You aren't living through those years. You are skimming them. To understand this, we must look at the brain as a complex energy network, a system of billions of neurons firing in rhythmic synchrony. These rhythms, or neural oscillations, are the metronome of your consciousness. Scientists have discovered that our perception of now is actually a window of approximately 80 to 100 milliseconds. Anything that happens within this window is stitched together by the brain into a single cohesive experience. This means you are technically living in the past, experiencing a post-processed version of reality that your brain has already edited and packaged for your convenience. If the brain didn't do this, the slight delay between the light hitting your eyes and the sound hitting your ears would make the world look like a badly dubbed movie. We are biological time machines, constantly synchronizing asynchronous signals to create the illusion of a smooth, continuous present. But let's dive deeper into the quantum metaphor of the mind. In the realm of quantum mechanics, time is not a linear progression, but a dimension of probability. Some theorists suggest that the human brain might utilize quantum tunneling or coherence within the microtubules of our neurons, a theory known as orchestrated objective reduction. If this holds true, our thoughts are not just chemical reactions. They are quantum events. This suggests that our mental time might be interacting with the universe in ways we are only beginning to grasp. Consider the concept of entropy. In physics, the arrow of time is defined by the increase of disorder. However, life is an island of negentropy, a system that actively fights against disorder to maintain structure. Your brain is the ultimate anti-entropy machine. It uses energy to impose order on the chaos of sensory input, creating a narrative of before and after to navigate a world that at a fundamental level might be timeless. This leads us to a profound realization about human weakness and strength. We often complain about time pressure or burnout, viewing our brain's inability to keep up as a failure. But from a neurobiological perspective, what we call distraction or slow processing is actually a protective mechanism. When you are overwhelmed, your brain begins to filter out the noise, narrowing your temporal window to focus purely on the immediate now. It is not failing you. It is triaging reality to keep your cognitive core from collapsing. You are an energy grid, and when the load is too high, the system sheds non-essential tasks to preserve the integrity of the whole. This changes the way we view our daily struggles. You aren't losing time. You are reallocating it. The philosophy of time often pits the presentists, who believe only the now exists, against the eternalists, who argue that past, present, and future are all equally real in a four-dimensional block universe. If the eternalists are right, then every moment of your life is a permanent fixture in the cosmos, a coordinate that never disappears. Your brain, through the lens of memory and anticipation, is simply a flashlight moving across this darkened map. This shift in perspective is revolutionary. It means that the past isn't gone and the future isn't a void. They are simply regions of reality that your current biological hardware cannot access. Our limitation is not a lack of time, but a lack of perspective. We are trapped in the temporal present because it is the most efficient way to manage our biological energy. If we perceived all of time at once, the sheer complexity would incinerate our neural pathways. Our ignorance of the future is a gift of focus. Furthermore, we must address the biological clocks within us. Every cell in your body contains a molecular oscillator, a circadian rhythm that dictates everything from your body temperature to your gene expression. We are not just thinking about time. We are composed of it. When these internal rhythms desynchronize from the external world through jet lag or shift work, the psychological result is a fragmentation of self. Time is the glue that holds our identity together. Without the ability to string together moments in a chronological sequence, the concept of the I vanishes. This is the tragedy of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, where the temporal anchor is lost, and the person drifts away from the shore of the present. But what if we could manipulate this anchor? Emerging research in neurotechnology suggests that by altering the firing rates of specific neural circuits, we could theoretically slow down our subjective experience of reality. Imagine being able to downclock your brain during moments of leisure to make a weekend feel like a month, or upclocking during tedious tasks to make hours fly by in minutes. This is no longer science fiction. It is the logical conclusion of understanding the brain's temporal processing. We are moving toward a future where time is a setting we can adjust. Let us look closer at the physics of the observer. In Einstein's relativity, time is malleable. It slows down your massive objects and at high speeds. In the same way, your psychological mass, your level of attention and emotional gravity, bends your subjective time. When you are deeply in love or deeply grieving, the fabric of your days changes shape. Grief is a heavy mass that slows time to a crawl, forcing you to endure every microsecond of pain. Joy is a high-velocity state that compresses days into heartbeats. Your emotions are the gravity of your internal universe. This brings us to the ultimate twist. Your brain's perceived weaknesses are its greatest evolutionary triumphs. When you feel stuck in a moment, it is your brain giving you the chance to analyze a threat or a lesson. When you feel time is flying, it is your brain operating at peak efficiency, navigating a safe and familiar environment. You are never wasting time. Your brain is simply modulating its intake to match the needs of your survival. We must also consider the role of memory as a time travel device. Every time you recall a past event, you are not playing a video file. You are reconstructing the event from scratch, using your current emotional state as a blueprint. This means you are constantly rewriting your own history. Your past is as dynamic as your future. From a philosophical standpoint, this suggests that the timeline of your life is a living, breathing entity, not a fossilized record. You have the power to change the meaning of your past by changing your perspective in the present. This is the core of cognitive behavioral therapy and the essence of human resilience. We are the only creatures on Earth known to possess chronesthesia, the ability to mentally project ourselves into the past and future. This ability is the source of our greatest achievements and our deepest anxieties. We build civilizations because we can imagine a future that doesn't exist yet. But we also suffer from stress because we can imagine a catastrophe that hasn't happened. Our struggle with time is the price we pay for our intelligence. But as we advance, we are learning to bridge the gap between our biological limitations and the infinite nature of the universe. We are beginning to see that time, as we know it, might just be a property of our three-dimensional perspective. In higher dimensions, perhaps time is as navigable as a hallway. If the brain is a quantum receiver, then our consciousness might already be touching those higher dimensions. Every moment of déjà vu or intuitive flash might be a leakage from a nonlinear reality. We are biological beings, yes, but we are also energy patterns, and energy is never lost. It only transforms. This realization changes the way we view death. If time is a construct of the brain and the universe is an eternal block, then our presence in the cosmos is a permanent feature. You are a specific configuration of energy that exists at a specific set of coordinates in the space-time manifold. You are eternal, even if your biological clock eventually stops ticking. The spark of MindSpark is the recognition that you are more than a body moving through time. You are the awareness in which time itself occurs. This is the ultimate science of the self. As we peel back the layers of neuroscience, we find not a clock, but a mirror. We see that our obsession with productivity and saving time is a misunderstanding of what time is. You cannot save what you are creating. You can only experience it more deeply. This is the call to action for the modern mind, to stop being a slave to the seconds and to start being the master of the moments. Increase your information density. Seek out the unknown. Challenge your predictive coding. When you do this, you aren't just living longer, you are living wider. You are expanding the dimensions of your soul. This is the intersection of neurobiology and philosophy where we find our true power. The universe didn't give us a timeline. It gave us a canvas. What you choose to paint on it with your attention is the only thing that truly matters. We are the architects of the now. We are the pulse of the cosmic machine. And as we continue to push the boundaries of what we know, we realize that the only thing more mysterious than the nature of time is the nature of the mind that perceives it. You are the most complex structure in the known universe, and your ability to perceive time is your greatest superpower. Don't let it go to waste on the mundane. Reach for the extraordinary, for the quantum, for the deep philosophical truths that lie just beneath the surface of the ticking world. We are standing on the threshold of a new understanding of reality, where the barriers between science and spirit are dissolving. This is not just a change in theory. It is a change in the human condition. We are moving from being subjects of time to being the creators of our own temporal reality. And that, more than anything else, is the ultimate spark of knowledge. If you have journeyed with me this far through the labyrinth of the mind, then you're part of a rare group of thinkers who aren't afraid to look into the void. Your curiosity is the engine of human progress. If this exploration of the biological and quantum nature of time has sparked something within you, if it has made you look at the clock and see a miracle instead of a cage, then we have succeeded in our mission today. This channel is dedicated to these deep, transformative insights that bridge the gap between the lab and the soul. But we cannot do this alone. To keep the MindSpark science flame alive, we need your active participation. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mysteries of existence, please hit that like button right now. It tells the algorithm that deep, intellectual content still matters in an age of short attention spans. Share this video with someone who feels overwhelmed by the pace of life. It might just be the perspective shift they need to find peace. And most importantly, if you haven't already, subscribe to MindSpark Science and join our community of explorers. We have so much more to uncover, from the secrets of the subconscious to the edges of the observable universe. Comment below with your own time-stretching experiences. Have you ever felt a moment last a lifetime? Let's start a conversation that transcends the clock. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your brilliant curiosity. Until our paths cross again in the next video, remember, time is not something you lose, it is something you are. Stay curious, stay deep, and keep sparking.